With the headlines for this hour on VTV News, ensuring the progress of the political system organizational restructuring. And religious community developed within great unity. Later on in our World News, Middle Eastern countries begin outreach to Syria's new leaders.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi. You're watching VTV News. Party General Secretary To Lam has signed and issued a resolution by the Politburo focusing on groundbreaking development in science, technology, innovations, and national digital transformation. This is a significant move by the Politburo, considering these areas as prerequisite and the best opportunity for Vietnam to grow strong, prosperous, and powerful in this era of national resurgence. The Politburo's resolution has established a central steering committee to develop science, technology, innovations, and national digital transformation, chaired by the General Secretary. On the afternoon of December 24th, the National Assembly Standing Committee met to review financials and budgetary issues. Decisions included allocating over 5,800 billion Vietnam dong, or over $240 million to localities for implementing social welfare policies and supporting teacher payment schemes, and an additional $25 million for the 2024 local budget to manage land from state-owned agriculture and forestry enterprises. The committee also agreed to reduce environmental protection taxes on gasoline, oil, and lubricants in 2025 and extended the implementations of resolutions on social insurance and unemployment insurance management costs until June 30th, 2025. Finally, the committee reviewed the allocations of the budget for the activities of the National Assembly delegations in 2025. On December 24th, Chen Cam-tu, Politburo member, Party Central Committee Secretary, and Chair of the Central Inspection Committee, met with leaders from various agencies, party committees, and social organizations to review the implementation of Resolution 18 on organizational restructuring. Reports show that the proposed restructuring of party and government bodies is on track. Key changes include reducing staff in the party central agencies, such as the Central Organization Commissions, the Central Economic Commissions, and the Central Propaganda and Education Commissions. Several government and political organizations, including the Vietnam Fatherland Front and the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor, will also undergo staff downsizing and reorganizations to streamline operations. Progress is on schedule with the necessary documents for restructuring ready for review by the Central Party Committee, Politburo, and Secretariat. Regular updates and a focus on political unity have accompanied the implementation. Chair of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee Commission for External Relations, Lê Hoài Trung, paid a working visit to Cambodia from December 23rd to 24th. During the trip, he met with Cambodian People's Party President and Senate President Samdech Techo Hun Sen, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Prak Sokhon, and Deputy Prime Minister Neth Savoon. In his meeting with Hun Sen, Lê Hoài Trung congratulated Cambodia on its achievements under the CPP leadership, which has ensured peace and development and elevated Cambodia's global standing. The Vietnamese chair also conveyed greetings from government leaders to Hun Sen and other officials. Hun Sen expressed confidence that the visit would strengthen bilateral relations, affirming the commitment to deepening cooperation based on good neighborliness, traditional friendship, and long-term sustainability. The Cambodian president congratulated Vietnam on its achievement and expressed confidence in its future under the leadership of the CPV. The Center for Overseas Labor launched its first pilot recruitment on Tuesday to employ Vietnamese workers in Australia's agricultural sector. The drive is part of the PARM program and the Vietnam-Australia Memorandum of Understanding, which supports Vietnamese citizens in securing agricultural jobs in Australia.
At 8 a.m., the Center for Overseas Labor began accepting applications, and the process ran efficiently to ensure there was no waiting for workers.
I found the application form at the collab and followed the instructions. I want to work in Australia.
I came to experience the process, see how it works, and gauge the turnout. The steps are simple, following the Ministry of Labor, Imbalance, and Social Affairs form.
The process is clear and transparent. I hope my application is accepted.
Australia is recruiting 30 workers for the meat processing industry. Applicants must be 21 to 35 years old, in good health, have a positive attitude, be willing to learn, and pass an English test. There are no fees, and workers will receive $300 Australian for the airfare.
The receiving company will conduct direct interviews, select candidates, and notify those selected to sign the contract. Once the company in Australia confirms acceptance, departure will be arranged.
After the first batch of recruits, Australia intends to hire around 1,000 more workers.
The official operations of Metro Line 1 will serve as a cornerstone for implementing the Transit-Oriented Development TOD model in Ho Chi Minh City. According to city forecast, the TOD model could generate millions of apartments while contributing billions of US dollars to the city's budget.
A survey by the Ho Chi Minh City Institute for Development Studies reveals that between 2026 and 2030, the city will need approximately 65 million square meters of floor space to meet housing demands. For instance, plans to relocate houses along canals will require nearly 50,000 new apartments, underscoring the critical role of TOD in addressing housing shortages.
A TOD station area typically spans a few dozen to 300 to 400 hectares, maintaining a walking radius of 500 to 1,000 meters. This proximity makes it ideal for high-density urban areas with integrated housing and public services.
By 2035, Ho Chi Minh City aims to construct 7 metro lines covering 355 kilometers and 258 stations, with a total investment of $40 billion US. Experts emphasize that expediting processes such as project planning, land acquisition, and revenue allocation will be crucial for success.
The biggest hurdles are securing the budget, training skilled human resources, and restructuring management. Departments must collaborate under the direct leadership of the City People's Committee to handle these projects effectively.
To accelerate TOD development, the City People's Committee has introduced a plan targeting Metro Lines 1 and 2, as well as Ring Road 3. The strategy involves 3 TOD models, focusing on core station areas, transitional zones, and traffic intersections. Additionally, the city plans to leverage Resolution 98, which outlines specific mechanisms to implement TOD initiatives promptly.
This year, Vietnam trade activity has shown a strong recovery, with total import-export turnover approaching a historic milestone of $800 billion US, the highest ever, representing a 15% increase compared to last year and nearly 2.5 times the target set by the government. The trade balance maintained a high surplus of nearly $25 billion US, marking Vietnam's 9th consecutive years of trade surplus. Industrial production has achieved an impressive growth of 8.4%, significantly contributing to export growth. Notably, the production and exports of agriculture, forestry, and fishery products reached over $62 billion US, an increase of more than 18% compared to last year, far exceeding the initial target. Coming up next on VTV News, religious community develop within great unity. And tourism recovers thanks to international promotion. Dong Nai has one of the largest Catholic populations in the country. The province is joining Catholics nationwide in celebrating the holiday season. Parishes across the province are adorned with bright light, filling the nights with festive Christmas atmosphere.
At Sien Lok Cathedral in Longk Kank City, Dong Nai Province, the Christmas spirit arrives early. Parishioners create miniatures, hang lights, and eagerly prepare for the holiday. With over 1.2 million Catholics and 270 parishes, Sien Lok Diocese is the largest in the country. Each person contributes voluntarily to make Christmas more meaningful.
I spent some time decorating for Christmas with everyone here.
Along with decorating churches and creating nativity scenes, most parishes organize social activities centered around living a good life and spreading the joy of Christmas to all.
During the holiday season, the parish visits the sick, offers them gifts, and distributes presents to disadvantaged families.
We strive to carry out charitable activities, including at least 20 initiatives to support older people, men, women, children, and people living with disabilities.
As the year draws to a close, Christmas preparations with colorful lights create a festive atmosphere, helping everyone look forward to a peaceful and joyful new year.
December is an important time for the Christian community, with many activities to celebrate Christmas. Major religious holidays have long become shared celebrations for the community, rather than solely for followers of the religion. This confirmed the Vietnamese state's consistent viewpoint in respecting and protecting freedom of belief and religion. At the same time, it is also the most vivid proof that refutes realistic, distorted claims about religious freedom in Vietnam that some organizations have raised in recent times.
Located in Hanoi's Old Quarter, St. Joseph's Cathedral is where locals and tourists can most clearly experience the Christmas atmosphere. Many overseas visitors can easily attend services.
I arrived in Vietnam 5 days ago. I am very happy today because I had my first prayer session there. I will tell my friends who are coming to Vietnam that they can continue practicing their religion here.
In Vietnam, for many years now, Christmas has not only been for Christians, but has also become a festive occasion for everyone to enjoy together.
Christmas joy is present here. The cathedral has now become not only a place for Catholics to pray and attend Mass, but also a popular tourist attraction for many tourists, both domestic and international.
Christmas and many other religious festivals in Vietnam have gone beyond the boundaries of religion, gradually becoming community activities. However, despite this reality, some ill-intentioned organizations continue to spread misinformation, contradicting the religious practices in Vietnam. These statements are completely contrary to reality. In recent years, the number of religions in Vietnam has grown significantly. For instance, in the Thai Binh Diocese, with the government's approval, a 30,000 square meter facility was completed in 2020 to care for and support people with disabilities and older adults.
I have not seen any instances where the government restricts our religious activities. We are very well supported. We want to spread what is good, and the government has created favorable conditions for us to do so. For example, the government has facilitated the establishment of our healthcare center. This is also a way for us to spread and carry out the teachings of God.
Vietnam is also open to dialogue, cooperation, and sharing best practices with other countries around the world regarding the assurance of religious freedom.
Had the opportunity of visiting with the Pope on different occasions, and on one occasion we had a long conversation about Vietnam because there are many Catholics that are here. And so I encouraged him. I said, you need to visit Vietnam because the church there is healthy, it's vibrant, and it's growing. With reference to how the Vietnamese government is working in the space of religion, I would say they're doing a very good job.
Vietnam's policies and guidelines regarding religion are increasingly being refined to fit the country's development. The international community has recognized Vietnam's religious life, which serves as the most vivid proof to refute unrealistic and distorted claims about religious freedom and beliefs in Vietnam.
Starting December 25th, users of social media platforms in Vietnam such as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok must verify their accounts with their personal mobile phone numbers to post, comment, or share information. This regulation is outlined to increase 147 on the management's provisions and use of internet services and online information, which officially takes effect today. For users without a Vietnamese mobile phone number, account verification will be done using their personal identification number. Notably, individuals using social media for commercial live streamings are required to verify their accounts with their personal identification number. This regulation is expected to help reduce fraudulent activities, misinformation, and illegal actions on social media, while also supporting authorities in monitoring and handling violations effectively. Household businesses are no longer unfamiliar with online tax declaration and payment. However, to facilitate the process, especially for startups, the General Department of Taxation has recently piloted a Hanoi Tax Department chatbot virtual assistant. The application leverages artificial intelligence to address queries, streamlining and expediting online tax payments quickly.
Taxpayers can access and use the chatbot virtual assistant on the social media platform Zalo or the Hanoi Tax Department's website anywhere, anytime, using a smartphone or computer. Within seconds, taxpayers' queries will be automatically resolved, eliminating the need for in-person visits as in the past.
With this AI assistant, all my concerns can be addressed from home. All I need is a mobile device with an internet connection.
You can directly ask the virtual assistant questions when accessing the Hanoi Tax Department's website.
Based on feedback from the public and businesses, the tax sector will populate the database further and improve the system to implement it nationwide as quickly as possible. We are also collecting the issues faced by taxpayers to facilitate changes and reforms.
Currently, over 920,000 businesses, organizations, and tens of millions of taxpayers are under tax management nationwide. AI chatbots effectively enhance online tax payment efficiency, saving taxpayers time on travel to in-person meetings.
Google recently announced its top search trends for 2024. In the tourism category, Ninghai Tourism emerged as the most searched domestic destination. Ninghai Bay lies along the coast of Ninghai Commune in Ninghai District, Ninh Thuận Province, about 40 kilometers northeast of Phan Rang Thap Cham city center. Visitors to this destination can immerse themselves in its peaceful, poetic scenery through well-coordinated tourism initiative. Ninghai District attracted over 2.7 million visitors in 2024, including more than 44,000 international tourists. These visits generated an estimated tourism revenue exceeding $70 million. Efforts to promote Vietnamese tourism in international markets in 2024 have yielded encouraging results thanks to the strong focus and investments from the government and businesses in the tourism industry. The goal is to attract international tourists and enhance the value of Vietnam tourism sector, consolidating the country's positions on the global tourism map.
The Vietnam Cultural and Tourism Festival in Quang Minh aims to strengthen cooperation between Vietnam and China. Images of Vietnam are displayed thematically: Vietnam, the land of marvelous heritage; Vietnam, the home of World Biosphere Reserves; Vietnam in humanity's memory; and Vietnam, the home of intangible world heritage.
Vietnam has diverse landscapes and great potential for tourism development. Chinese tourists really enjoy traveling to Vietnam.
This year also marks the first time the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism has organized a large-scale tourism and film promotion event in the United States. 6 memorandums of understanding have been signed in the US, promising support mechanisms for American film crews in Vietnam. Vietnam aims to welcome 1.3 million American visitors by 2028.
Which was on Netflix across the global world, as we say, and it was a joyous experience to film in Vietnam.
In Europe, tourism promotion efforts have also been boosted through a series of photo exhibitions and promotional seminars in Moscow and St. Petersburg, with the aim of revitalizing the market to pre-COVID-19 levels. International tourism fairs are being prioritized to reach a broad audience of travelers worldwide.
It is important to focus on close collaboration with other countries, with the ultimate objective of leveraging each country's strengths and promoting cultural cooperation.
The success of promotional efforts is reflected in the 17.5 million international visitors to Vietnam in 2024. The tourism industry aims to fully recover to pre-pandemic levels by 2025, welcoming approximately 22 to 23 million international visitors.
Coming up next in our war news, Middle Eastern countries begin outreach to Syria's new leaders. And Israel claimed responsibility for Hamas leader's assassination. Regional countries and the international community are pledging their support for the political transition in Syria. On Monday, Turkey and Iran affirmed their support for Syria unity and territorial integrity under all circumstances. They stated that they were ready to support the Syrian people. Turkish media reported that President Tayyip Erdogan is expected to lead a ministerial delegation to Syria in the next 2 weeks. Also on Monday, representatives from regional countries such as Qatar, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan sent delegations to visit Syria. Qatar announced that it is ready to invest in energy, ports, and security in Syria. Meanwhile, Jordan and Saudi Arabia expressed their readiness to help Syria rebuild the country. The two sides also agreed to cooperate in combating drugs and armed trafficking. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz admitted on Monday for the first time publicly to Israel's killing of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Iran in July. He said that Israel has defeated Hamas and Hezbollah and topped Assad regime in Syria during his opening remarks at an evening honoring Defense Ministry personnel. The Iran-backed group in Yemen has been attacking commercial shipping in the Red Sea and sending missiles and drones into Israel, saying they are acting in solidarity with Palestinians in the war in Gaza. In late July, the political leader of the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas was killed in Tehran in an assassination blamed on Israel by Iranian authorities. There was no direct claim of responsibility by Israel for the killing of Haniyeh at the time. China firmly opposes the United States Section 301 investigation into the Chinese semiconductor industry, the Ministry of Commerce said on Monday. The ministry said the investigation will disrupt and distort the global semiconductor industry and supply chains and harm the interests of U.S. businesses and consumers. The ministry added that the U.S. had provided substantial subsidies to its chip industry through legislation such as the CHIPS and Science Act. It is also worth noting that U.S. semiconductors companies account for approximately 50% of global market. In comparison, Chinese-made chips constitute just 1.3% of the U.S. market share. Calling on the United States to respect multilateral rules, the ministry said that China will monitor the progress of the investigation closely and take all necessary measures to defend its right and interests resolutely. The magical colors of autumn leaf one thing, and what can be created from the leaf is another. A Japanese artist is attracting attention by cutting intricate designs into natural resources and posting them on social media.
Lito holds up his latest creation, a frog holding an umbrella. The 38-year-old artist tends to get started late at night. He picks a leaf, which has been treated by chemical so that it won't crumble or lose its shape. Viburnum and ivy seem to suit the best after many trials and errors over the years. With his knife, leaves are turned into works of art. Lito knew his strength lay in kirie, the art of paper cutting. He also knew how hard it would be to make his name, considering the number of kirie artists out there.
It was then when I came across kirie using leaves produced by a foreign artist. Once I saw that online, I thought of leaves. It doesn't cost anything, and I can start even today. That's how it all started.
The power of concentration and long attention span have always been Lito's strength since he was a child. On the other hand, he found following a traditional life plan, fitting in and understanding people's minds, not easy. Lito's journey as an artist started after he was diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, at the age of 31. The leaf art gave him a new purpose.
It is difficult for me to perform the way others do, even if I'm doing the same thing. That cast aside my doubts. Without that diagnosis, I think I would still be struggling to find a way to fit in.
He has published books featuring his leaf-cutting works and hosts a solo exhibition almost every month somewhere in Japan.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch your program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.